Welcome back to BSpice. In this session, we'll continue the industrial communication wherein we'll focus on the hardware part. Hardware in the sense hardware cables and hardware and cables used for digital communication. So if you are a first time viewer, wanted to inform you, in part 1, we have focused on the intro about the protocol and we talked about the network topology and most importantly the OSI model, Open System Interconnect model. All the 7 layers we discussed in detail. Okay, so in this session, it's a hardware and cables, mostly. Okay, you'll get an overview actually. Of course, but yeah, you'll get an overview, right? What type of devices, what type of cables, all these. And of course, we are not going to stop with this. We are also going to cover the communication methods, interface standards, and device, and of course, the proprietary and open protocol provide available or followed in the industry. Okay, so let's go into the business. Okay, so as part of the hardware and cables, first, computer controller network devices. Computer and controller network devices. So this is the device, this is the description. Okay, what are all those devices? Serial ports. Okay, so what is this used for? Data is transmitted 1 bit at a time through serial ports. This one we all know, right? So USB, Universal Serial Bus ports have been the principal type of serial port used for 20 years of now. This is one of the aspects, serial port. Then another interesting, 8P8C receptacle. This is nothing but 8 P's, 8 contact. That's it. I don't know whether you have heard about it. Yes, this is 8P8C. So this is usually attached to the ends of the Ethernet cable. You would have seen the end. You will have that, right? Yes, Ethernet cable. So they easily snap into the 8 piece, 8 contact receptacle built into many devices. Friends, the Ethernet cable, when you push, right? Yeah, that is what 8 piece, 8 contact. You got it right. That is one of the computer and controller network devices. Then we have this network interface card. This is very important actually. Network interface card allow a computer to be connected to a network. Even in our BSpice, we have seen that, right? In the Yokogawa system, you have this, network interface card, right? Yes. So most network interface card have an 8 piece, 8 contact receptacle. So these card also have a built-in MAC, meaning media access card for the computer to network interface. Okay. So this is about the network interface card. Then small form factor plugin, SFP, transceivers basically. So the small form factor SFP, plugin transceiver or plug-in devices which are inserted into a dedicated slots of switches, routers, and some network interface card. So most SFPs are used for interface with fiber optic cable. That is the point. Okay. So this means it's a fiber optic cable. Okay. So another less often used type permits interface with copper Ethernet cable. Okay. So basically, so most SFPs are used for interface with fiber optic cable. Okay. So this is about the computer and control network devices, friends. I hope you got some insights. Serial port, 8P, 8 port, 8 P's, 8 contact, NIC, SFP, all these. Okay. Now I go into standalone network devices. In the standalone network devices, friends, switches, converters, wireless transceivers, all these. Okay. So switches mainly provides, connectivity for many computers on a network, right? Obvious, and connectivity to other network devices. Okay. So switches commonly have a few as four, as many 848 ports, right? Yes. So usually switches have at least one port for a cable to connect to another switch or a router. So switches are usually managed devices, meaning configured. That is configured by the end user. Okay, managed devices. So in Ethernet network, they reduce the chances that data collision will happen if simultaneous data transmission occur. Okay, so in Ethernet network, these switches actually reduces the chances of data collision. So that is why we are using this. Okay, right. Then we have a media converter. Media converter basically provide bidirectional communication by interfacing copper Ethernet cable and fiber optic cable. It's basically a converter, right? Then we have this wireless transceiver. These devices facilitate wireless communication and a network on a network. Okay, so this is about the switches, media converters, and wireless transceivers about standalone network devices. Then we have a network communication cable. Okay, so if you talk about communication cable, the most simplest one is twisted pair wiring. Okay, twisted pair and copper cables with varying number of conductors are used in some networks, right? So basically, twisted pair copper cables with varying number of conductors are used in some networks. So example, RS485. So resistors are applied to the far ends of some networks with twisted pair cable. So meaning twisted pair wiring may or may not have a shield around it, or individual pair may be shielded. Okay. So resistors are applied to the far ends of some network with twisted pair cable. Okay. So basically, it's like, using use for RS485 communication. Okay, this is twisted pair, which we all know, nothing further to add on here. Then the coaxial cable. This is widely used actually. Appropriate connectors and receptacles and use of terminating resistors are essential with coaxial cable. And we have a copper Ethernet cable. Copper Ethernet cable have, four UTP, four unshielded twisted pair, right? So the different types of Ethernet cable, you know it better, right? Yeah, the Cat5, Cat6, Cat7, all these, yeah, have a differences actually. So the maximum rated length recommended for Ethernet cable, there is the types of used actually. So here also 8 piece, 8 connectors are usually attached to end of these cables. Okay, friends. So this is about the communication cable. Of course, few more to add on. Yes. So crossover cable, this is basically a copper type. A crossover cable is a Ethernet cable in which the 8 piece, 8 connector N connectors are applied to the transmit conductor of one receptacle are connected to the receiver, another receptacle. So normally the transceiver, okay, the transmit one conductor on one end connect to the transmit conductor on the opposite end, and likewise for this receiving also. So these cables are sometimes used for direct computer to computer communication without an intermediate switch. So that is the point. That's why it's a crossover. So they're usually short cable. Okay, friends? Right. So then we have a fiber optic, which we all know. This is used to transmit data over much longer distance than copper Ethernet cable, right? So it carry a great amount of data. Fiber optic cables are either single mode or multi-mode, and different types of cable pass light through different wavelength. Okay, and of course, the multi-mode, single mode. There are many aspects are there. We are not going into that technicality. But if anyone want to know single mode, multi-mode features, comment. I will put a separate video. Okay, so that's it actually. Yeah, here's some more to add on. Individual fiber have a very small diameter, and the end of fiber optic cable must be prepared by a specialist before the end connector. Okay, so they are also available as a trunk cable, basically long cable or patch, like a short cable. Patch cable comes with an end connector applied. Okay, so this is all about the cable, hardware and network cables, friends. Thank you and for watching. Okay, the next session we will talk about interesting communication methods. Very interesting. And stay tuned if you are really interested. Yeah. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.